I'm going to show you how to run a pre-order for your clothing brand in 2026. Now, the reason you may want to do a pre-order is because it's the fastest way to drop a brand new collection without any overhead, which means you don't need thousands of dollars spent on inventory. And it's effective if you do it right. You can start a clothing brand that's doing $10, $20, $30,000 a month with effectively $0 overnight. My name is Fred Sanders, and we run Sanders Consulting, which helps a ton of clothing brands scale. And this strategy is the same strategy that some of my clients are doing to get to $10, $20, $30, $40,000 overnight without spending any money. And I'm going to break it down for you guys in this video without trying to sell you anything. If you want to work with us one-on-one though, you can apply for that link down in the description. So let's go ahead and hop into it. First and foremost, again, you want to make sure that you're leveraging what the newest thing is out right now, and that newest thing is AI. AI has made pre-orders pretty much so easy. Doing a pre-order was so much more difficult in the past because you always had to get a physical sample. You had to do photo shoots, and honestly, the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. But nowadays, doing the setup and creation, we love to leverage AI, and there's a lot of tools that we're going to talk about in this video that can not only create your products, but also make videos and pictures and UGC content with a click of a finger. So really cool. So first things first is we're going to talk about, we don't want you to go out and waste money on samples yet. The cool thing about the strategy of pre-order that I'm going to be talking to you guys about, not only do you not need a bunch of inventory, spending thousands of dollars, but you don't even need a sample in your hand yet, which means you don't need to physically wait, talk to manufacturers and wait 30, 60 days and spend a couple $100 to get a sample. You can start literally right now because you can produce those product images with AI, okay? So we're gonna show you how this is possible with a site called Dokimi here, okay? So if you go to getdokimi.ai, that link is also in the description. This is really cool because you can not only design your products, but like I said, then go in and take photo shoots. So let's go ahead and design and just show you guys how quick and easy it is to make something. Okay, I'm gonna use a random generator just to show you guys. I'm gonna make a random clothing brand from the snap of my fingers. I'm gonna make an outdoor brand about foxes and dolphins. So let's say a random outdoor animal brand. So I wanna help me create an outdoor brand jacket that displays animals, and that's what I'm going to say. I can click on whether I want this to be a 2D image or if I want this image to be 3D right here in the swatch, and I can also chat with it. So if I want to put the chat, and I can say, what kind of questions should I answer to have this be generated better? So I'm going to ask it, and I can talk to it, and it'll give me some questions that I should answer to kind of give it a little bit better direction of where we're going. So boom, it answers back which animals, which the jacket silhouette, what's the colorway, how's the animal displayed. So I'm going to quickly answer these, and then we're going to go into creating our product. So boom, it gave me a lot of context that I should ask about my brand, and it kind of helped me shape the idea. I think the hardest thing about creating and designing is not just making the piece itself, but it's the actual idea and ideation of it. So it helps out with the ideation part. It asked me about, what kind of style I would want, what kind of colors I would want, and what other competitor brands it would kind of like to shape off of. So now I'm done with the chat icon. I can go ahead and click generate, and let's see what it comes up with. So boom, as we can see, here's our jacket right here. It has those nice earth tones, has that eagle, as it's about to be July 4th here. So I figured an eagle was fitting for America's 250 here. And you can see it automatically came up with this. Now I can even say, hey, now also make a back for this piece, and it'll make me the back of that piece as well. A really cool thing about this design though, in this AI software, is we can click on validate here. It'll bring it over to the validator tool, which basically looks at what all the other brands are doing and what's working and actually making sales for them, and then does an AI market score to see how likely it is to be able to perform out there and actually make sales. So if I validate this, it'll literally judge my product and tell me what's good, what's bad, how likely it is to scale, and then give me recommendations I can then feed back into the designer to make it even better, which again, just kind of helps you with the whole design ideation process. What would have took you months and potentially thousands of dollars hiring different designers, now I can do it with the click of a button. Right here, I see I got a 67. I can show more details, look at the pros, cons, look at an AI recommendation, and have pretty much everything that I need at my fingertips to be able to design a piece and get it where I need to go. And you can see here, it even made me a different kind of jacket here when I asked for a back. I'm not sure why I made it a different color, but gave me a back here. So you can kind of see here how this all fits together and how easily I can make this and make my pieces and design them. But here's the really cool part about using this software. And the next thing that we need to do is, now that we've designed our piece, which again saved us countless of hours and probably potentially thousands of dollars and a lot of testing, we can go in and now make an actual photo shoot of this product. If we go into the generate tab on Docemi here, click on flat lay, I can then click on the actual piece and you see I generated the back afterwards. I just referenced the actual original product and I generated the back to it and it matched it perfectly. And now I can go on to flat lay, click on both of these pieces, go into surfaces here, and I can do a photo shoot just highlighting my product on whatever kind of background I wanted. So if I wanted to do concrete, marble, turf, I'm gonna probably try to find something that's a little bit fitting to the outdoors that I'm going for. So let's say we're gonna shoot for, let's go for a grass. And I can click on generate and it's automatically gonna do a photo shoot of just my products. So I can then use these as an actual product image when I'm building the next step, which is my website. So boom, we can see here, it immediately created a very high quality looking grass t-shirt. And let's say if I wanted this to also be on concrete, I can generate this with as many different surfaces as I wanted to. And I can even do things like model shots, and I can choose my own models if I want to go into the model, put it on an actual model so I can create the product images that I need to be able to put it on the actual product page and start crafting my pre-order. Because of course, if we're going to do a pre-order, we need to do photo shoots and pictures of the product. But now, with the click of a button, I can do a photo shoot of my product and it pulls every single thing that I need exactly. It doesn't change any of the actual small details, even all the way down to the eagle. It's getting every little small detail the exact same, so I can go in and build out my product page the right way as if I had the product physically. So I'm also, for the product page, before we go on to the website side, I'm gonna make a couple of models here. So same thing here, I can click on scenes, go through different white studio, black, cement, brick alley, parking garage. Again, this is an outdoors brand, so I feel like it would be fitting if he was outdoors. I'm not seeing the scene that I love, so I can always just type in the scene, right? I can say, make me a scene where this is being displayed on a model in the outdoors, preferably somewhere mountainous. So boom, if they don't have the scene that I'm looking for, the model that I'm looking for, I can always go out and custom make that, change the ratios, do all that cool stuff before I generate my image. So boom, we can see here, I know I'm yapping a lot, but boom, you guys can see this image does look a tidbit AI because it's just too highly realistic, but just looking at the actual capture detail, this would be a flawless thing to be able to put in for my product image. So I'm probably going to keep this, but I may even go in and reference this image and say, maybe I wanted to do something a little bit more simple. Let's say if I want to do just like a white scene here and I wanted to reference this image, I can then, I'm actually just going to do the product itself, generate and get a couple of different scenes and shots so we can craft out this product page the right way. So I'm going to go out and build a full photo shoot AI before we launch into the next step, which is actually creating the website. So boom, as we can see, I just went through very quickly and I made a full photo shoot of this product that we literally just made. So now, not only do I have my flat lay image right here that I can post on my website when they first land on it, but when they scroll through and start looking at other images, they can then see that they have a full photo shoot of this guy, the left side, right side, while also maintaining all the product specs. Again, you couldn't do this a couple of months ago. So I'm going to save all these and we're going to go over into building the website. And for that, we're going to use a site called Shopify here. Most of you guys have heard of Shopify. It really is the simplest, most fastest way to be able to build out a Shopify site, collect payments and get your store started with this pre-order method, just keeping everything to a bare minimum. And if you want to keep that price to a bare minimum as well, I'll give you a trial link in the description where you should be able to get started for 3 months for just $1, which is ridiculous. Again, starting your brand for pretty much nothing. So we're gonna go ahead and build out the product page here. We're gonna click on products here. And from here, I'm gonna go on to add product. And from here, this is where I'll go and add my title and add up all these new pictures and descriptions here. So boom, you guys can see here, I named the actual jacket. I just called it the Summer Eagle Soft Shell. And then I typed in the actual brand name, which for this mock-up store, we'll call it Outdoor Supply. We'll leave the description blank for now. And then we can upload our actual images. You guys can see here, it looks pretty nice. We have different views of the actual product. And then it finishes off with this great view of the jacket here. I'm just gonna price it an arbitrary price for now. If you want to get a little bit more in depth with pricing, obviously, since you guys don't know the pieces or talk to manufacturers, you're going to have to do your best as far as pricing this and even talk to possibly Docemi and get a price. Or if you want better pricing and figuring out manufacturers and stuff, you can always apply to work with us one-on-one as well. But for this jacket, I'm gonna assume a 115 price point would be really good, and we still be able to make a good solid profit. So just make sure you price it high enough to where you're not losing money and you're still able to make a profit. For everything else, I'm not gonna cover this and go into too much detail and specifics because right now it is a pre-order and we don't physically have the product on hand, so we don't need to do a lot of these other things like shipping and stuff, etc. So from here, we're going to go over and make the actual website very briefly as well. So we're going to go over to online store. And from here, the theme that I'm going to recommend you guys use is the best free theme out right now that's still very high quality. I'm going to recommend using the Horizon theme. So go ahead and click on add and add that to your Shopify store. So boom, you guys can see here we have our very easily made test website here. I always love to design in the mobile view. So we're going to make and quickly go over how to make this website. And really all it's going to be is a banner picture, your actual collections, and then we'll tap into the actual product page, which is going to matter the most. So for this banner image, I'm going to go back over and use Dokimi, go to the generate tab, and I'm going to say exactly, hey, generate me a homepage banner so we can have something we can put on there. And for that, we already have this image right here that was made a little bit earlier. And I think it'd probably do really good for a banner image here. So I'm just going to select that and throw this one right in. So boom, you can see here, I just threw that image right in. It fits perfectly. I said shop our new soft shell. From here, you would upload your logo. I'm not going to cover how to upload logo. Again, very easy and simple to make. But for the homepage, that's just about it. We're not going to do too much. Obviously, you should have a couple of products. So once you have, 5 or 6 products here, this will start to fill out. Really, you don't want the homepage to be too much. Just want it to have a banner and then scroll right down to your best sellers so the customers can see what you guys offer. The product page is where the magic happens. So let's go over there. So boom, here is our product page here. Pretty bland, not a lot going on, but we're gonna make this look good. First and foremost, I'm gonna start off by making the price just a little bit bigger. Probably gonna do a little bit smaller than the actual product page, and this right here feels like a really good size for me. And then from here, I'm also gonna go in and add a section, and I'm gonna add an FAQ section. So when I build a product page, my goal is I'm understanding that the customer's already interested in buying the products, and I just need to solve for objections. So typically there's going to be 3 main objections they're going to have. First and foremost is this product going to ship correctly? What are the details? How is it washed? All these little small things. And then obviously returns information. So as long as I can solve those 3 things very clearly and easily for my customer, that should cover just about 90% of the objections or reasons why they won't buy. And since they're already interested in the product, most of the time they're going to go ahead and purchase. I don't need all the fancy banners and other things because that's just going to drive our customers down the page and distract them and honestly lower the impulse purchases and customers who click on the page and immediately they're buying 15 seconds later. I want to keep my product page as simple as possible so we can improve that impulse purchases, which gives us more money in the long run. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this frequently asked questions banner at the top here. And I'm going to just leave it to just 3 columns here where we're going to answer those 3 questions. Before that, I'm going to make these headers a little bit bigger. So it's around that. So I'm going to go with heading 4. And then from here, I'm going to name this one description. I'm gonna name the next one shipping. And then this third one, I'll call it return guarantee. Boom. Now let's go out and we'll fill out each of these drop downs here. Now for the description, my goal is to keep a bunch of bullet points and just keep it very short and simple. I just want to talk about the quality of the shirt, how to wash it, what it's made out of, any other like small features that a customer may be interested in that would fit in a description. So we're gonna go off and I'm just gonna make up a bunch of stuff about this soft shell. Maybe I use ChatGPT to make me a really quick features list. So boom, you can see here, I just quickly used ChatGPT. I uploaded this image and we got this bullet point style that I was looking for. And we're gonna go ahead and copy and paste that right in here. And I'm gonna go back and make this a bullet point list right here. So boom, now we have our description. It talks about the forest green soft shell jacket, full zip front with stand-up collar, talks about the rib cuffs and brown zipper, eagle chest patch, rugged outdoor style. The only thing I may want to say is something about like the sizing and how it fits. So I may say true to size, fit, and any other little small detail and feature that you can think about that would belong in like a features list, you want to include here in the description. The goal is to not have it a huge paragraph because otherwise customers won't read it. Have it very short, small, easy to read bullet points and try to keep them to a minimal, I would say a maximum of around 10 to 12 bullet points right there. All right, and I just really quickly went in and I added in the shipping information. Now, the most important thing I'm going to cover is making sure that you outline that it is a pre-order, right? So you're doing a pre-order, you need to let your customers be transparent about that, so you don't have any chargebacks or unhappy customers because they didn't know it was a pre-order. So in the shipping column here, we'll go ahead and let them know that it is a pre-order. We'll talk about the pre-order policy. So this item is a pre-order, will ship once production is complete. For pre-order updates, shipping details, and return policy information, please view our shipping and return policy. What you would then link, so you can go ahead and move them over to that shipping and return policy where they can then go in and find more information, which would typically be a really long page. I did the same thing for the return guarantee here. I talked about the return policy. Return policies are only accepted as outlined in the return policy requirements. For that full information, go ahead and review our return policy, which you can go ahead and create based on Shopify templates pretty easily. And you can see one last thing that I did here was on this announcement bar, instead of just having it welcome to our store, I want to be able to increase AOV. So I said free shipping on orders $100 plus. So now we can see here the product page is really starting to come together. It has everything that it needs to be a pre-order. Customers can go in, they can see different items and views of this actual jacket here, and they can start purchasing it. And we still have yet to spend hundreds or thousands of hours trying to build this out like it would require previously. That brings us on to the last step, which is quite frankly the most important thing about running a pre-order in the first place. You have your images, you have your shipping policy, and you would disclose, your shipping policy and all that information. Now the launch, right? You're going to have a lot of customers that either A, just didn't look, and because your checkout page and product page is so streamlined, they didn't even look at anything. They just saw it, looked at a couple images, and impulse bought. Oops, they didn't know it was a pre-order. Now they're worried about their jacket. It's not the end of the world. A lot of customers are going to reach out to you, understanding and asking where their jacket is. Your job is to just reach out to those customers, let them know it is a pre-order. For any super unhappy clients, you can go ahead and cancel that order and refund it, right? The good thing about it is when you're doing a pre-order, you're able to raise tens of thousands of dollars with no overhead. And most of your clients, I would say 90% of your customers, are going to be okay with waiting a month or 2 months before they actually get their product, right? The goal is to keep them informed so they're not feeling ghosted and they try to charge back or complain and you ruin your brand credibility. So just make sure you keep a really good, consistent communication with your customers on email and anywhere else that they may text you. My goal is when I'm running a pre-order is to make at least enough to cover the bulk. So if I'm talking to a manufacturer to make this piece, it's a 25 MOQ and it's going to cost me $2,000. Well, I'm going to try to sell at least, 20 of these jackets here so I can make that $2,000, buy the bulk inventory, and then keep the rest as profit. Okay, that's always the goal with a pre-order, is just to make sure the product's going to sell and can at least cover that first bulk. I never try to go out and buy 100 or 500 pieces at first. Keep a really small, bulk inventory for the first drop. And then for that second inventory, you can start buying more as you see the products working well. But you guys can see here, we just created a full pre-order. If you have any other questions specifically about pre-orders, or you need some advice on pre-orders that I didn't cover in this video, you can drop that down into the comments and I'll go ahead and reply to you there. If you want to work with us one-on-one to help you scale your brand and help you actually go in with the marketing and everything else, you can also apply for our mentorship link down in the description. That's all I got for you guys in this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.